Hey everyone, this is Ryan B with Practical Forex Trading, and this is your weekly analysis for the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the DJIA, it is April 5th, 2020. Dow Jones represents the top 30 U.S. blue chip stocks as a composite index average. So we're thinking about averages here, so it's not exactly the same as price action, but this is a great economic indicator that a lot of people watch. So we think about reading that. How do we read that? We want to know what all these things really mean. There's a lot of headlines, so this is a great way to dissect it through technical analysis. Let's go ahead and start off with my sentiment is mixed, meaning in the short term, I don't think we're going to see significant ups or downs as far as the main trend is concerned. So we think about technical trend analysis. This is our 2009 uptick. We see prices slowly moved up and kind of fell off to the side, finding support all along the way. We see this 18,000 line was a previous resistance all the way back in 2015 and 2017. Price just revisited that and had a nice bounce. So now price is within this ascending price wedge. Okay, where if price stays up in here and continues to ricochet back and forth off this ascending line, eventually we're going to see it pop out the top, right? So that's our bullish scenario. We have resistance at the 22,500 mark. Why? Because back in the past, we see the bodies of our candlesticks close above or below that line, or the price went all the way up the shadow. That's where the price was at some point, then moved away. So for 2 weeks in a row now, we see price try to rally and move to this line. The fact that it hasn't means that it has to find support in this ascending price wedge, or we're going to see another return to the 18,000, and that would be the bearish scenario. Now, as long as price stays in this ascending channel, that's bullish, so hence overall why I'm mixed. Now we talk about the fast-moving average. So price, if we think about this blue line, represents the last 20 weeks. So it's a 20-week moving average. So if you want to know how to anticipate what it means now, just look back to what it meant in the past. So we haven't had a lot of big sell-offs like this. Now we did see it, right, 2008. Price moved below that and came back and tested it, kept doing that same pattern over and over again. So now price will at some point come back and touch this line. The next question is that going to be our next big sell-off, right? We don't know. We won't know until price gets there. Or price moves back above this resistance line, becomes support, the average comes down, price then, the bodies of the candle start engulfing it, and we see our next big move up. The reason I'm not buying yet, I'm not taking our 401k and buying anything besides bonds, is because it's not above this line. So it could just hang out and range trade, right, between 23 and 18 over the next few years. So now here's the initial face of our trend, and that's pretty steep, and steep trends always average out. So let's go ahead and remove this. Well, actually, let's go ahead and leave this, but let's play out the longer, more broad trend. Something like this. Okay. So we see that price over time, right? It was resistance, then it became support, resistance again, right? So now we have our more broad trend. If price were to follow this more broad trend, this becomes our ascending price wedge, and it takes a lot longer. So we're talking it could take up to 2025, 26 to recover just above that resistance line. Let's go ahead and map out that scenario. We're going to take away that wedge. We're going to take away this trend line. So we talk about trend lines being subjective, but it really depends on what's the velocity of the trend you're looking at. So we have these steep faces and they cool off, but then the uptrend continues. It's just a lot more broad. So let's go ahead and map out a triangle. Now looks something like this. Okay, so the good news is, as long as price stays in that, eventually prices will go back up and we'll go see, look for a retest of this 29,000 mark. So if there's a lot of buying, it becomes a true V. It'll push above here quickly in the next few weeks. If it does not do the next few weeks, it could take a number of years to reach that number again. So we will see. All right, everyone, have a great, safe week, and we will talk soon.